thank you all for being here. We're really excited for this panel discussion. So my name is Jennifer Brasted. I'm the Director of Government Affairs for the Alzheimer's Association, and I'm honored to be a team member of the Broward DCCI Task Force. And so really excited about our conversation today regarding technology for caregivers and how to utilize that. We all know how integral technology is in our lives. I can see many of us have our phones out as we speak. You may have a Apple Watch or another electronic watch, and Alexa at home, and all these devices, but there are others that have been out there that really can support you in your journey as a caregiver, and really honored to have three panelists today who could talk about their specific technologies. So again, we have Guido Wadaway from Uniper Care, Adam Siak from IN2L, and David Lederman from Veterans Home Care, and they all have three unique perspectives, and can't wait to share that information and the technology that they are all working on. So I do want to get started, and we'll start with Guido, but this will be a question for everyone. Just tell us about who's eligible for your technology, and maybe in that as well, explain a little bit about what your technology does.
Is this on? Okay, great. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me here in Broward. So as you heard, I'm Guido Wadaway with Uniper Care. Uniper is an accessible technology for seniors, and it's really designed for anybody age 50 and up, and anybody who works with any of the area agencies on aging nationwide is generally eligible. And we have an interface that you can access on your phone, on a tablet, on a computer, and we also have a piece of hardware called a UniTV kit, which we can attach to your television, which turns your TV into a two-way interactive window. Comes with a very, very simple remote with a few buttons on it, and then you have access to the Uniper interface. And in there, you get access to live activities, social activities with peers, fitness classes, every kind of wellness content and programming. The live activities are supplemented by a video on demand library, which is available 24/7. There's an announcements board, so you can see what's going on in your community and in the Uniper community. And there's also a video calling feature, so you can video chat with friends, family, and in some cases, people use that video calling feature to meet with their providers.
Thank you so much, Gita. Adam, same question. Who's eligible for your technology, and also just describe, very basically what IN2L does?
Sure. So I'm Adam from IN2L plus LifeLoop. I'm here kind of featuring the IN2L tablet here today. I confirmed earlier who's eligible, so anyone who's over the age of 60 and living in Broward County can get access to the tablet program here, as we've partnered with ADRC, completely free to the participant. It's a really great way to engage, right? So IN2L has been around for over 20 years in senior living communities, and our bread and butter has been content. So we have lots of senior-friendly content. So games, activities, movies, ways to reminisce. So it becomes a great communication tool if you're a caregiver to support your loved one. So that's kind of the key, and kind of like Gita said, we also have some family connection tools on the tablet as well. So video calling, text messaging, photo sharing. So I think that's a pretty good overview.
Great, thank you. David?
Thank you. I'm a hands talker, so I'm going to try to go one-handed here. Veterans Home Care, great company. We have two signature programs. Our core program is called Vet Assist. So if you're caring for a loved one who happens to be a veteran of wartime or a surviving spouse, we encourage you to come over to our table and talk. Our program specializes in placing those individuals in home care. We do that through a specialized program with the VA called Aid in Attendance. It's one of the only pension programs available to a surviving spouse of a veteran. So if that's you, there might be money available to you, and we'd love to talk to you. In our journey of continuing to develop that program, we created a technology called Smart Companion, which allowed us to leverage voice technology, create a HIPAA provisioning process, and manage an Alexa system within the home. So we've installed about 5,500 devices to date, 2,000 homes, and it allows us to do real-time immediate communication and content delivery to our network of veterans in home care.
Great, thank you. So my next question for all of our panelists is, can you talk about, I know you mentioned a lot about some of the content, but can you talk about what could be used specifically for dementia caregivers? And then also, if you have any success stories that you could share, that would be great. Guido?
Yeah, so Uniper has got a very rich content library. For caregivers specifically, if you're a caregiver here in this audience, it's a lot about self-care. And Uniper is about wellness and connectedness. So whatever your particular needs are, there's probably some content that meets it on Uniper. If you just need to chat with other caregivers, there's chat rooms with caregivers in them, just socializing and talking with each other and giving each other support. There's meditation, there's exercise. I think Zumba is our single most popular class. There's games and trivia. There's peer-led groups on every kind of topic. There's a movie club, there's a Bible study group, there's a gardening group. So what Uniper provides for caregivers is that important aspect of social connection, which it's hard to get when you become isolated at home as part of your caregiving responsibilities. And then just the general wellness activities, nutrition, exercise, sleeping better, relaxation. That's the kind of content that Uniper focuses on. For the persons with dementia themselves, we do have a whole set of activities designed for them to participate in, and it's a spectrum, right? So depending on where they are in their dementia care journey, we have trivia classes that are designed for people with dementia that stimulates recall, and we also just have very soothing nature videos and animal videos. And in that period of time that they're engaged in that other content, it gives you an opportunity for respite. In terms of success stories, we have a really exciting clinical trial going on right now. We're starting the second year of it with Johns Hopkins, which has built an entire dementia care program on the Uniper platform, and we're hoping to be able to bring that to the larger community in the coming year.
Great, that's very exciting. Thank you. And Adam, just about how IN2L can work for dementia caregivers and those living, and some success stories. I know in 2020 with the pandemic, the Alzheimer's Association was able to partner with the Department of Elder Affairs and IN2L for a initiative called Project Vital, which was able to provide tablets within living facilities, and then that expanded to the home. But if you have other success stories, you can share as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You bring up that critical time period, which is really when, our tablets became vital to both, families and, senior living communities. So, all of those stories of hearing about those residents in communities, with COVID, calling their families, virtual call through the tablet were pretty impactful. Kind of the regular day-to-day as, let's say, as a caregiver, right? I think that one of the key features of this is its personalization capabilities. It's so all of the content, we have 1,500 pieces of content on this tablet, right? So, games and music and movies and, learning about different things, right? So there's truly something for everyone on there, and they don't need to engage with everything. But if you find those activities, then you have a great communication tool, a way to connect with your loved one. And then a great tool for yourself, right? To recharge and stay connected. So, lots of great stories I would hear from this program, of singing with their mother in the kitchen, or, helping them go to sleep. The one that I like, which is just, I don't know, sticks in my mind all the time is, we have very simple reminisce videos on the tablet, and one of those is a barbershop video. And I never heard of anyone like watching this video before, but, we found a participant in the program that was a barber as a career. So just watching that video was able to, just lift his spirits. And he could watch that today. He could watch that tomorrow. It was an easy thing to go back to for the caregiver to say, you know what, I'm going to support him right now, and we're going to watch that barbershop video again. So a lot of these little kind of anecdotal stories, and then we had a great pilot, research with ADRC and the 12 partner programs in Broward County, where we saw reduction in feelings of loneliness, reduction in feelings of anxiety and depression, and greater sense of connectedness. So if you come to my booth outside here afterwards, I'd be happy to share that research with you. But yeah.
Great, thank you. And David, for the Vet Assist technology, I know one of the big focal points about that is really safety. And so safety is a huge concern when we think about individuals with Alzheimer's disease. They have 6 in 10 will wander at some point. When talking about how this technology can be used for caregivers, can you really discuss the safety element and how Vet Assist can help in that manner?
Yeah, so for us, supporting the large amount of clients we have now in home care around the country, it was critical for us to maintain our mission of keeping them in their homes safe and aging in place, to develop a technology that allowed us to establish that communication. And so the system is installed between 3 to 4 different speakers, one in the bathroom, a video unit in a main room, and then strategically around the house. So anywhere in the home, if the patient were to fall down, they can call out for help, and it attaches to either emergency dispatch or an immediate loved one. And so we have a whole network set up to manage that safety element, so they don't have to remember to put a pendant on, or worry about it taking it off, or charging it at night if they forget. So we're kind of around the clock coverage from a safety perspective, which is really critical. And then we rely on Alexa to provide the content element. And so it's really interesting to watch from some of our studies with some of our patients, especially in the dementia realm, to watch them, how they interact with like music therapy and different things. So we take it for granted, right? If we're going to, someone says, go play Frank Sinatra, maybe we go to Spotify, YouTube, whatever it might be. That's, kind of second nature for us now. But for the ones we care for at home that are aging in place, that's not intuitive to them. So the ability to use their voice happens to be fairly intuitive. So they can just say, Alexa, play Frank Sinatra on our system, and start to create those cognitive memories from their childhood and the music, like we all have memories from songs we hear that we enjoy. So.
Great, thank you. And so this next question, I'll start with Adam, but if anyone else would like to chime in, please do. I know when we talk about technology, and especially when we're looking at our senior population, it can be difficult sometimes to kind of adapt to the new technology. Maybe you have everything perfect, but then one thing goes awry, and troubleshooting can be difficult. I'm a caregiver for my grandparents, and the amount of tutorials that I have done for the desktop computer and the iPad are too many to name. And, Adam, can you talk about any challenges that caregivers and participants have had kind of adopting to your technology, and kind of how you've worked to resolve those issues and make it as user-friendly as possible?
Yes. Yeah, there are various challenges. And I think the first one you brought up is kind of that initial barrier, like that initial fear of, oh, what is this tablet? What am I supposed to do with it? It's overwhelming. So, we've typically do, work in partnership with a AAA, and have, great managers that kind of, focus on the one-to-one, that support them. So we kind of give them the tools to help them. And what we say is just find one thing, find 2 things, find 3 things, right? And like I said, it's personalized, so you can just favorite those items. So let's start with solitaire. I know you like solitaire. We can start with that. Listen to music. We can start with that. So it's kind of finding that initial bridge to get them in, so that they feel a little bit more comfortable. So the more they feel competent, the more they're likely to explore and find some other things. But there are just challenges just being a caregiver, right? Like it's designed to take the burden off, or a little bit of the burden off of you, right? Here's a tablet that you can engage with your loved one. You're trying to have them eat dinner, and this could be a tool to help with that, or give you a chance for respite. But sometimes depending on the circumstance, too much for them, right? At that time, could be over. It's just another thing for me, right? So we know it kind of depends on the time. And then just from a product point, it's tough to design something for everyone, even though that's our goal. We constantly evolving, but we always hear, we would love to see this, and we would love to see that, or this language, or that language, or this language, which, we, are constantly trying to strive in design, but it's, there's always more feedback to say, I wish it did this, you know what I mean?
Of course. Would anyone else like to take that question? Or
Yeah, sure. Uniper, our technology was specifically designed with older adults in mind. So everything from the colors on the screen, which were selected to be the appropriate colors. We start to lose our ability to distinguish between certain shades as we age, and so the colors were selected with those vision changes in mind. For people who are comfortable using a computer or using an iPad or using their smartphone, you can access Uniper, through those kind of interfaces. But the TV interface was specifically designed for people who are maybe not quite as comfortable with technology. It's a very large screen. So as you can imagine, the fonts are very large, the words are very large, the images are very large. So it's much easier to see and interact with. We are working now on our full ADA compliance, but right now it's about 75% compatible with captioning on the videos and on the live activities, as well as compatible with screen readers. It's multilingual, the platform, so you can view the screens and the menus in Spanish, Russian, or English, and there's a full complement of content available in all those languages. And we have a human, we have tech support, a human that you can call, available 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So, sometimes it's just easier to call someone and ask them. And so we have that human support available. And then during the onboarding process, we're more for sure about connectivity and about interaction. And so our onboarding team will ask you, what your goals are. How can Uniper help you improve your life? Are you feeling stressed? Do you need to exercise? Are you worried about falling? Are you interested in performances? Did you just go to the theater? You missed that. And then we help you customize your program. So it's content curated for you and customized by you.
great, thank you.
Yeah, I'll jump
David?
in. Sure. So for us with voice technology, probably our biggest challenge was our clients concerned about it always listening to them. And so after going through it and explaining, our whole system is, as I mentioned, provisioned for HIPAA, so it's completely private. It's on an anonymous network, so none of the content is recorded on like the larger Amazon platform. So we can kind of get through that. But yeah, just in the system in general, we're getting phenomenal results because they get to just talk to the system. So for us, our average client using our technology is about 83, 84. So it was pretty critical that we had a tech that was kind of low maintenance. We have a live human activation team that works with them and does a personal Q&A at onboarding to identify specific feature sets like, medication reminders, cooking reminders, nutrition therapy solutions that we can program into the system for them. The whole interface is multilingual, but also we have a lot of clients that use it for translation. So if their caregiver is more familiar in one language than them, they use the system as a real-time translator. So we've seen some really good feedback from that. One of the funniest things that happened to us with one of our early adopters a few years ago, I was talking to her and asking her because she was very concerned about the system listening. And I said, well, just for my own curiosity, what are you, so concerned about Alexa listening to you about? And her response was, well, sometimes I like to curse.
That's so funny. I love that. SNL did a really good spoof one time on seniors utilizing the voice technology. If you haven't seen it, it's really clever. So I really always enjoy that. So my next question, Geeta, is going to be for you. And I was thinking about it while you were discussing some of the content earlier. And I know you were talking about there's a group for anyone in talking about caregivers. Now, do you have specific caregiver support groups on your technology? And then the second part of my question is, during the pandemic, we saw a rise in technology, but we saw a use of telemedicine. I know there's a lot of, medication management and other things with your technology, but do you see telemedicine being incorporated into the Uniper technology anytime soon?
Yeah, actually a really interesting question. So at Uniper, we have a whole set of content, and our content is all about physical and emotional health and wellness and socialization. One of the unique features of Uniper is it's also a platform. So, so when we work with a partner like ADRC of Broward County, they're able to put all of their own content. They can do live activities and classes. They can create their own video library, and they can do one-on-one visits with people through the Uniper platform. And so, and in fact, several of the AAAs across Florida, they share content with each other on the Uniper platform, so you get access to all that programming. So we today have quite a fair number, 10 or 11 different customers who we work with who do telemedicine on Uniper. So a social worker, a dietitian. We work with the VA in St. Louis, and their physicians do their visits with their members at home right on the members' television screens. And it's been a better accepted technology than many of the the telemedicine platforms, which require you to go to a browser and log in and go through several hoops, and then you finally get to the provider. Uniper's is kind of as easy as turning your TV on, and it's time for your appointment. You get a pop-up on your TV that says Dr. So-and-so is calling, and you click OK, and there they are on your TV. So it is able to support telemedicine. It's HIPAA compliant. Those pop-ups and notifications all work, but it's in the way our partner uses it. We ourselves don't provide the clinicians, but where we work with a partner that does have clinical services or any kind of counseling, all of that can be done via Uniper.
Great, thank you. And then Adam, my next question's for you. When it comes to the tablets and the tablet program, can you talk about how you measure success, and certainly open that up to everybody on their technologies, how they measure success with their programs?
Yeah, it's a good question, because I think, having typically come from the senior living communities, we have some pretty good metrics of, what does a successful engagement look like? What does successful adoption look like? We know kind of the hours per month of the activity directors using, our technology. In home, it's different for me, right? If somebody uses it for, 5 minutes a day, those are good 5 minutes, that could be successful. It's those stories that you hear, and it's just kind of shifting your perspective a little bit for me. It's like knowing that, while it can be a tool that's used throughout the day and in different scenarios, I think, kind of dialing back a little bit and understanding the additional kind of challenges represented in the changes that can take place. It's seeing those, seeing the engagement, hearing those stories, hearing from the caregivers of that this is able to help me in this specific situation. It's hearing from, AAAs that we've gotten engagement. They're excited. They're coming to the senior centers and they're having fun with it. So it's utilization will always be a part of that. Like if they're not being used, obviously that's not good. But seeing that they're being used, and then just kind of hearing those examples and hearing feedback, like I'd like to hear people saying we want to see this, that, and the other, because that means you're engaged and you're looking and you want more, right? So I think for me, those are some of the success that I see in these programs. Yeah.
That's great. And that's really interesting because, as you say, facilities, it can be different. But even at home, if you can get someone to, maybe a loved one was having some behavior issues and was having some issues, but maybe playing that barbershop video you referred to earlier, and that 5 minutes that was able to de-escalate that situation, and make things better. So I know we're getting a little short on time, but I did want to ask you a specific question, David. I know with Vet Assist, it's a lot about, safety and making sure, loved ones are safe at home. And when it comes to, we know we just had the hurricane over on the West Coast, but we all need to be prepared. Many of our seniors do tend to stay home and be homebound. And can you talk about how your technology could work in a hurricane or another situation for those who are homebound?
Yeah, so again, for us, a large majority of our clients are in rural areas that don't have access to, some of the care that we're afforded. So for us, the system was critical to make sure that it stayed up, that it had accounted for the internet going out, the power in the home going out. Veterans on fiduciary, those are circumstances that come up a lot. So for us, that was a critical element. So our system is built and installed. It comes in like an oversized shoebox. It's actually pretty simple, but I make it sound complicated. Everything is set up on a battery backup system, including the router that creates the additional encryption for HIPAA. And so if the home internet goes out, our system kicks onto a cellular network. We tap about 200 different cell towers to immediately transfer over, so the client in the home can still have access to emergency services. And then in the event of a full power outage, that also our battery backup allows that whole system to stay online for up to 8 hours, so they can have access to information of what's going on around them, and also get access to emergency services and family to call out, that they need help and their power's out. So yeah, thank you for that question.
Of course. I know with tablets and other technology that can be more difficult, but I don't know if you all have any safety that you'd want to add to that. But I know with technology and with internet out, that can be very difficult. But fortunate, we do have one source of technology that can be there, and up to 8 hours is really substantial. So that's fantastic. So I know we're getting close, so I just want to give everyone the opportunity to, one, talk about anything exciting coming up. I know, Gita, you mentioned some of the Johns Hopkins research, and I know, Adam, you have some updates, and then also where people can learn more about the technology. I know some of you are out front, but also maybe a website you could provide so they could learn more.
Yeah, sure. I mean, in addition to the clinical trials going on, new features coming in the product are games. We have games. We have like trivia and group games, but we don't have games that you can play individually. So that's a new part of the feature set that's coming out. And then also we are soon, by the end of the year, to have programming available 24/7, scheduled programming. A lot of our customers ask for, something at 9 o'clock at night, a meditation routine that they can do in a group, so before they go to bed. And we hadn't been able to staff for that before, but we're getting to a point where we're going to be able to offer a much more robust schedule. If you'd like to learn more, if you would like Uniper for yourself, you're an older adult or caregiver of an older adult, we do have flyers out in the lobby. We don't have a table there, our own table, so we are on the Broward ADRC tables where you can find our flyers. If you're an agency serving older adults and you'd like to be able to offer your content on the Uniper platform and reach your members that way, we also have flyers for you out there, and you can always reach out to Broward directly. On their website, on the technology page, you'll see a link to inquire about us right there.
Great. Adam?
Yes, great. In terms of where we're going, I think just in the past few months or several months, we've had some exciting new partnerships on the content side. So Saltbox TV, which is kind of like Netflix for seniors, really great partnership there. Classic TV and movies and more modern items as well. So some dementia resources on there for TIPA Snow videos, et cetera. Arcadium Games, which is a new suite of 20 different games we have on there now. So that's lends to continual kind of development and adding more of those partnerships to our program. I think the big change coming is, you can see my shirt, it's IN2L plus Life Loop, and we've had a lot of questions at the booth. What does that mean? So we basically kind of in a merger now, IN2L, which initially stands for It's Never Too Late, is partnering with Life Loop to provide a kind of a full stop one-stop solution, typically for senior living, so LifeLoop being kind of the administrative engine with IN2L as the content underneath. But for this market, I think there could be some interesting things that come out of that. Some of the features from LifeLoop complementing it, like a communication tool, and some other features as well. So yeah, more to come on that. And where to find me, in2l.com, and then you can meet with me out front there, and I'd be happy to chat with you.
Great. And with 1 minute left, David,
Okay, I'm going
close us
fast.
out.
So, one thing I want everyone to kind of understand is that we developed this technology with our work with veterans, but our actual technology, our smart companion system, is available to all seniors. So if you want to learn more about that, we do have a table out in the hallway, or you can go to smartcompanion.care. You can also get more information about it at our Veterans Home Care website. And so that program in and of itself, we've developed a really cool software called Voice Health. It's live on the Alexa ecosystem now that allows us to have a daily interaction with our clients every day through Alexa. So she has a conversation with them in the morning, and the answers to those questions are populated to our provider dashboard that allows us to prioritize the care. Right now, we're rolling out our B2B partners. So if you're an agency or a facility and are interested in learning more about that, on the family caregiver side, in about 4 to 5 months, we're going to have that available for free, where you can then get access to really strong respite care, know what's going on with your loved one, and they interact with Alexa, and those answers populate to you throughout the day as needed. So it'll be a free program for family caregivers. We're really excited about rolling that out. The other big thing I wanted to jump in for our Vet Assist program, there's probably about 5.5 million veterans and surviving spouses that are going to qualify for this aid and attendance benefit over the next 5 to 6 years. Unfortunately, most of them will not get it without our program. So we have a very specialized approach that allows us to establish the qualifying medical deduction that the VA needs in order to get them into the program. So if you're caring now for a veteran or a surviving spouse of a veteran of wartime, we really encourage you to come learn more about our program so we can help you. If you're a family member caring for a loved one, we have a brand new program that we worked with the VA on directly to provide an independent care model where you can actually get compensation directly from the VA for the work that you're doing with your loved one. So, and our technology helps kind of support that entire environment. So we'd love to share that and show you how you can learn more. So veteranshomecare.com for that, for sure.
Fantastic. And you have a table out front as well. Thank you all so much. And thank you to our panelists for the wonderful discussion and any information.
Thank you for your time.